using, like, your chats haven't gone. Like if you're switching over to Claude, and I was just playing around, I saw a few things in terms of memory. How can I get my chats over to Claude? And so I thought I'd just like run it through to you while it's still fresh in my mind. What they were saying was you had to go to your settings here in Claude, and I think it was like capabilities, and they had a function here like a prompt that we could use to grab our chat history from ChatGPT, so we can just move it over, so we didn't have to like recreate all those chats and custom GPTs as well. Like all that stuff back there would be take a little bit of time, to redo it everything again. So they have a thing where you can actually import. Go to capabilities, start your import. So all I had to do was, it was saying I had to like copy this prompt here, go back to ChatGPT, and I'll just enter that in, copy and paste that in, command and paste it in on a Mac. I'm using a Mac. And obviously if you just let that rip and it thinks about it, whatever questions, it says you're asking for a clean dump, not a novel. Yep, this is actually stored and usable. So it's just going through, obviously it's going through the dates and so forth, and getting that data for me to just come across into Claude. Once it's done, we can actually just copy that. We end up copying it and go back to Claude here, and we can actually just paste it into here. So hopefully, what they say, it doesn't take that long for that particular, if we're doing that particular method. But it does take longer if you ask ChatGPT. So that's done. As if I was to just copy that, go back to Claude and put that in, and just add that to memory, and then it's actually updating the memory. But if we wanted a more extensive export of what we had in ChatGPT, there's another way that they were talking about. If we go back to here, I think you got to go to personalization and down to data controls, and you'll see this button here, export. So we were to export, and you can see here, confirm the export, and actually they email it to us. So the download link, so it will expire in 24 hours once you receive it. So that actually takes more time. I think it's a day or so that actually is meant to come once they do their proper export and they give it to your email, and then you have it like 24 hours here after you receive it to download the link before it expires. So you can do that way as well if you're willing to wait a day or so. Once they retrieve everything that's in here, and then you go back to Claude and still updating the memory. So if you're thinking about, moving your stuff across from ChatGPT to Claude, that is the way that I think most people are doing it. And, they're copying that prompt, getting whatever they can, moving it across. But as it comes into Claude, obviously you're going to reiterate, or you're going to change a few things once it's in there, because the way Claude thinks about that particular data will be different to ChatGPT, because whatever imported you've put in for your style of voice, your brand voice, the way you answer and respond to things, the way you think is going to be different, and the way, in particular, the models are different in terms of where it comes out with the responses and the feedback it gives you. The higher quality of input we're giving it with all these, the memory and the chats and so forth, the better outputs we can have. So hopefully if you're looking, or you're thinking about transitioning over, hopefully that clears that about you as well. See what Claude learned about you, it has all these details and so forth. So that's done, and you can just go back on your merry way and start implementing what the data that you've brought across, and then you can start implementing, just giving it out and testing things.